The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority wishes to inform the general public that limited quantity of petroleum product PMS, commonly known as petrol, with methanol quantity above Nigerian specification, was discovered in the supply chain. Methanol is a regular additive in petrol and usually blended to acceptable quantity. To ensure vehicular and equipment safety, the limited quantity of the impacted products has been isolated and withdrawn from the market, including those loaded in trucks. Our technical team, in conjunction with NNPC and other industry stakeholders, will continue to monitor and ensure quality products are adequately supplied and distributed nationwide. So there is no need to panic. The source supplier has been identified, and further commercial and appropriate actions shall be taken by the authority as well as the NNPC. The NNPC Limited and all marketing companies have been directed by the authority to sustain sufficient distribution of petroleum products in all retail outlets nationwide to avoid any scarcity. Meanwhile, the NNPC has intensified effort at increasing the supply of petroleum products into the market in order to bridge any unforeseen supply gap. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier in my reading, we have identified the supplier, and as a regulator, we are going to impose sanction appropriate to this default. Similarly, NNPC is going to put their own sanctions, commercial sanctions, in line with the contractual obligations between the two parties. Well, we have a technical team that comprises the NNPC, the authority, major marketers, Moman and Dapman, that is sitting in Lagos, and they're going depot by depot with inspection agencies to try and identify and isolate all the off-spec material so that it doesn't slip into the market. However, for those loadings that have been made in the trucks, like I mentioned in transit, the owners, the marketing companies are also tracking those, and they intend to isolate them. What is already in the tanks at the petrol stations, unfortunately, some of our people have already taken some. It's been addressed as well, because the major marketing companies as well as the government members have already directed all their retail outlets to isolate those tanks in order to stop serving to the public. Well, first of all, I need to allay the fears of the public, because NNPC has released from the strategic stock from Soleje Depot, if you're talking about the FCT area, and there is a very clean product that is coming from the decanted product that is in the storage. At some time, effort is being made to bridge from the southern depots into the northern consumers. And like I said earlier, all these things is being done with very keen interest to isolate the limited amount, because very limited, to be honest with you, but because it has already gotten into the retail outlets, then it became the problem. There are about 4 vessels that arrived in Nigeria. Of course, those vessels that discharged in some of the depots have been identified, isolated, so that is what it is really.
Maybe for clarity purpose, when you say 4 vessels, the viewers might not be able to relate. I'm thinking put it in terms of liter quantity or percentage in terms of.
No, well, let's say in terms of the total volume on each vessel, approximately maybe 30,000 tons, metric tons in each of the vessels.
Okay. My question is actually about FCT. There's been few queues even before this story came out about whether it's a limited amount came out. My question is, what is responsible for the queues in FCT? Because remember, I think
there are a lot of factors. First of all, if say 3 weeks ago, it happened when the issue of subsidy came up online, when the government said there's no more subsidy, there's a bit deferment in terms of subsidy removal. Secondly, it came up because of the talk about shortage in the system, but it wasn't really such a. What happened is we tried to, when we got the information, when we detected this information, we tried to slow down and isolate the tank. So all those volume that was supposed to be coming up to the northern part or other parts of the southern midwestern part of the country were actually stopped, isolated, because we wanted to investigate, identify, and isolate the affected volumes before it went into the market. So maybe that's what caused the small gap, which is manifesting now.